Hey guys, this is Nick at 𝗕𝗃, and in this video we're going to be doing a blind shock comparison test with some of the industry leading manufacturers to see how 𝗕𝗃 stacks up. The shocks we're comparing today are going to be King, 𝗕𝗃, Fox, and Bilstein. These are all going to be 2.5 dampers front and rear and feature compression adjusters. We're here with Mark. He's going to give you a little bit of his industry background and introduce himself.
Thanks, Nick. So we got all the cool toys here. I can't wait. This is going to be a great week. So, as Nick mentioned, my name is Mark. I've worked in the automotive industry, specifically in chassis development, for 30 years. Been jumping trucks for 30 years.
Sounds like a fun background.
Haven't crashed yet that I'm willing to tell you about. No, seriously, I've worked in the automotive industry for OE for 30 plus years doing chassis development. And now I get to come and hang out with you guys and have some fun.
Now the fun stuff starts.
Now the big toys are here, yeah.
In the last 30 years, what kind of trucks have you been tuning?
Everything from like all Toyota product, Toyota Tacoma, Toyota Tundra, and in fact, I was kind of thinking about this as we were getting ready to do this work. I'm not sure there's any other person on the planet, A, that's as old as I am that still does this, and B, that maybe has tuned every iteration of Toyota Tacoma and Tundra that exists.
That's pretty cool.
So been doing that since been in chassis since 1990, but tuning, of course, Tacoma since 95, and then Tundra, and then more recently in the aftermarket.
Very cool. So you're very familiar with what we got going on today. The truck we're going to be testing is a 2020 Tacoma TRD off-road. We look at both the on-road drivability as well as the off-road performance. Mark, you want to give us a little insight to how we evaluate these trucks?
Yeah, you bet. So first, I don't know if I've ever told you this. Can I share you a little bit about why I'm here?
Absolutely.
We'd
love to hear it.
Other than the fact you guys give me free burritos. I work for burritos.
Easy payment, cheap date.
I just come out to San Diego for the burritos. No, seriously though. One of the reasons I choose to be at 𝗕𝗃 is because as I came to know you guys and I understood what you valued as a company, I deeply believe and have seen carried out day to day that 𝗕𝗃 prizes excellence. They favor performance.
We do.
And in fact, I can remember being in the vehicle with you and Dustin one day. We were out testing, and Dustin spoke about the fact that you guys are a performance company.
Yep.
And that really, really meant something to me, right? You take care of your customer. You create high quality products that are thoroughly tested.
Yep.
And that's my gig. That's why I'm here. So one of the things that we've put in place here at 𝗕𝗃 is a highly detailed, very thorough evaluation process.
Yep.
And we can't show you the exact detail of the secret sauce, but this is some of the secret sauce.
You get a little taste.
That's right, just dip your toe in. So there are a total of 50 evaluation items that we use. We use this process and this form to document every vehicle we test.
Yep.
And this is not the end of it. There's audits that go on in addition to this. There's other dynamic checks and stability checks that go on in addition to this. I feel very comfortable that the level that you guys are checking and developing and testing your vehicles at is among the best in the industry.
And as well as performance, safety is always one of our #1 concerns as well.
Absolutely.
So we do have many safety categories on there.
That's right. Yep, stability is critical.
Yep.
And so we're going to use this process and these forms actually to document these dampers. Can't wait.
On these dampers, we're going to do a full in-depth review. So we're going to get an hour of street driving on a predetermined course. We're going to do an hour of freeway driving and about 30 minutes of dirt testing. Starting off with the shock lineup, every one of them is going to have compression adjusters on them. We're going to test them as delivered from the factory. So we're not going to make any adjustments to the compression knobs or the preload.
Right. Yeah, and this is the best stuff that both we and our competitors have to offer. Can't wait to see how these feel right out of the box on a Tacoma.
Yep, I'm really excited to get started on the install of these and see how we stack up. We got our first set of test shocks on the truck. Let's get out to the desert and start doing our blind test. Mark, I know you wear glasses, but you ever driven completely blind?
I do wear glasses. Today I have contacts. However, I have driven blind. It didn't end well.
Let's see how it works out today.
Right on. Let's go. Do I have to actually drive with this, or can I take it off?
No, you got to drive with it on.
All right, let's go. have some fun. So we're running this section at about 40.
40 miles an hour.
Yeah, and then we'll run the next section at about 50, right?
Yep. Wow.
That's a lot of bottoming and topping. This is one of my favorite parts of this course. A little bit of a cornering course in here. So what's the benefit of the cornering course? Like, why do we even check that?
This will show you tire grip,
Yep.
contact,
Yep.
ability to keep it straight. This is a good area for wheel hop as well.
Yep. We kind of thread the plants. Did you take your mask off? It kind of feels like you're driving blind.
This is a good low speed articulation test right here. This will also test tire grip going up. Use a little caution here.
Wow.
Whoa!
Heading to the jump. So, do you really want to do 10 laps of that?
I don't think so. Maybe a couple laps each.
I'm concerned we're going to break things.
Yeah. I don't know if it would really withstand
Yeah.
10 laps of that.
Like, I'm wondering, run it at a lower speed. To
Yeah,
see
maybe take it from 40 and 50 to 20 and 30, or 30 and 40.
Why don't we pull it back 10?
Okay, so 30 and 40.
30 and 40, and
Okay.
see if we still bottom.
Okay. So this test here is 30 miles an hour on the first section, 40 miles on the second section.
And we're doing that because we're trying to understand. We have our standardized speeds that we run this at, but in this case we can't really run our standardized speeds, so we're trying to back it down a little bit to find the limit. Still bottoming and topping.
Yep. That was 40 miles an hour.
You know, not knowing what's on the vehicle and not no idea what that company chose to do from a target's perspective or tuning perspective. But given this performance that we've seen here, right? Mm-hmm. Plus the performance that we experienced on the street.
Yep.
It's a little surprising.
It is.
Yeah. I thought, maybe they were running, relatively low speed on a street for compliance off-road. Mm-hmm. And they definitely have small bump compliance.
Yeah.
Like the granular here is very good. But I also had assumed they were going to be ramping their high speed quite a bit, and they're not.
For the bottom out control?
Yeah. And it's both rebound and compression because we're topping and bottoming.
Yep.
Oh boy.
Wow. That is a wild ride.
I think you're making shock butter.
You want to take over?
Sure.
We'll swap right here.
Okay. Are you 8 feet tall or not?
No, I got a long bottom and a short top. Do you feel like a top?
Yeah.
5 mile an hour.
So the impact G on the front axle
Yeah.
is really good.
Yeah.
A little bit of business out of the
Yeah.
back, right?
Front feels good, but the back
Yeah.
does feel like there's some movement.
Yeah, but it's not bad.
No.
I feel like that isolation on the small stuff is so far anyways easily the best feature.
Yeah.
The front feels super isolated.
Yeah. Definitely the small stuff is really comfortable.
Yeah. The difference between ride comfort and ride quality, right? This is really, really focused on ride comfort.
Yep.
So the front in this stuff seems very calm, right? With a little bit of input, it strokes too much, but on the small stuff, it's very calm.
Yep.
But the rear is kicking a little bit. Feel some pitching, yeah. A little bit of busyness. Wow. Rear bottom.
Yeah.
G was really good.
Yeah.
But there was a little bit
of lateral movement there.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of movement in the front.
Yeah. And traceability in the corners is difficult.
Yeah. Difficult to keep your line.
Yeah. One of those fancy words, traceability. It's the ability to maintain your path in a corner.
Whoa.
Wheels off?
I think we topped a couple times on that one.
Multiple, but it didn't rotate. Not a lot of yaw, but
No, it felt like that front right wanted to dive a lot though.
yeah, a lot of dip in the front, up in the back.
The topping, is that more lack of rebound, or the shock is too close to the end of stroke, or both?
Three things: spring rate, nominal position on the shock, and absolutely a lack of rebound control. What do you think? Day two?
Day 2, blind damper test.
You put your blindfold on?
Yeah. You gotta cover my eyes.
You drive like this? The control is good so far.
Yeah.
A little movement out of the back, which we noticed on the drive out
On the
as well.
street, yep.
Yeah. Front's working well.
Yeah. Doesn't feel like there's any bottoming or topping.
That's so far no. Head toss is much better.
Yeah.
Head toss, body's controlled. It's good.
Definite rear bottoming.
Yep. Yeah, so we can feel a little bit of consistency now in the rear damper.
Yep.
It worked well on the street. Stability was good.
Yep.
Right? Handling was good. Steering was good. Ride was excellent. But it was a little bit compliant in the back.
Mm-hmm.
And we can feel that here too.
Yeah, I think that's kind of showing in the dirt now.
Yep. So generally, this is working really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too.
A little more control in the back might be nice,
Yep.
but generally working well. No shake.
Mm-hmm.
And the front is generally round, but there is a little edge to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can definitely feel a little bit more of those small cracks.
Yeah. Oh, compared to yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh, big difference.
Yeah.
This definitely feels tuned for the vehicle.
Yeah.
Given the compliance we saw earlier, I thought it would be a bit more compliant in here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a more edge than I thought there would be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
This section of the course will definitely bring out any of the small, harsh ride.
Yep. Very nice.
Yeah. Good
Very
body
nice.
control, no
Yeah.
bottoming, no topping.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good.
That was good.
Yeah, not a lot of lateral movement at all. G was good. Wow, what a difference.
Very nice.
Very controlled. No topping or bottoming.
Balanced. Completely different.
Yep, very smooth. Didn't feel like we came off the ground.
No.
Kept all four wheels on the ground that time.
It's a real bonus.
Yeah.
So with the exception of just a little bit of kick off road, a little bit of bottoming,
Yep.
and a little bit of porpoising in the back
Mhm.
on occasion, right? This is, for me, kind of benchmark level
Yeah.
overall.
Yep.
The goodness in so many areas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Day 3 in the desert. Another beautiful day.
Damper number 3.
Damper number 3. You know, if the images that you need to get the inputs up in order to overcome the damping force,
Yep.
right? So I had kind of imagined that when we started running here, the force would be great enough that the dampers would start to work well.
Yep, and start moving.
Yeah, but actually we can't. We're not generating enough force. Like
Yeah.
it's just rigid.
Yep.
So the lower frequency rollers, it's handling. You know, the control's working.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start to ramp on damping force, piston speed, it gets rigid.
Yep.
Like right there. Yep. So this is the downside. You know, in addition to of course, you know, poor ride quality on the street. This is the downside of excessive damping
Yeah.
force, right?
Yep.
There is definitely a sweet spot.
Yeah. Street handling and stability seems high.
That was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God. Hey now. Body control is good.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of G on the face. Yeah.
No bottoming or topping.
No, topping. Wow, that was good.
That was really good.
That was better than yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, that was the best step so far.
Yeah, that was really good. It's good.
Definite G.
It was G.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was.
Not a lot of lateral, and it was round.
Yeah. Really good.
Very smooth.
Wow. So the control is definitely helping us in certain areas.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep. Yeah, it didn't feel like it was even close to end of travel.
Yeah, that's probably the best performance we've had on
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, not just in this truck.
Yeah. very straight.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that is good.
Yeah.
That is really good.
Yeah. That right there is next level.
Yeah. All right, day 4 damper test. Excited for this one.
Any day you can jump trucks is a good
It's
day.
a fun one.
But any Friday
Yep,
you can jump trucks.
even better.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see what we got here. Oh. Hey now. Rear skipping. This is a nice complaint.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. Big motion.
Yep, definitely a lot of movement in the front on that one.
Yeah. Bottom movement.
Yeah. Definitely a lot of movement out of the front.
Yeah. Ooh. Wow.
Wow, hard bottoming in the back.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
thought that stiffer feel in the back would maybe help with the bottom out control,
It's blowing through it.
but it did not.
Yeah.
Today it feels slightly more rounded, but a lot of movement and not very much tire contact.
Yeah, traction seems really
Yeah,
good.
it's really hard to keep its line and keep your speed.
Yeah. So bottoming and topping not nearly as bad as day one,
No,
right?
I think I only felt it top one time.
Topped once, bottomed a couple times.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
Front
more in
and
the
rear.
rear,
Yeah.
front bottom twice.
Yep.
So it's not constant like day one was.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's better than that.
Yeah.
But it also looks and feels like there's a lot of yaw in the vehicle
Yep.
where it doesn't want to track.
Consistently, yeah. You're really needing to put a lot of effort into keeping it straight.
Yeah. And the front is just too soft.
Yeah. All around too soft.
And it's spring rate in addition to damper. It's low on spring.
Yep.
Rear's pretty firm. Yeah. Like noticeably imbalanced.
Yeah. The front feels
Good.
pretty good, yeah. Kind of at all speed, the front feels good.
Yeah. So I think more than the other dampers we've ridden, one of the things that jumps out at me with this damper is the imbalance front to rear.
Yep. You're definitely getting a lot of movement out of the front.
Yeah, softness in the
Yep.
front, right?
Yeah.
Undersprung, underdamped.
And then you're getting that kind of hard hit in the rear.
Kicking in the rear, yeah. Yeah, which is very typical of a truck, especially a leaf sprung
Yep,
truck.
leaf sprung for sure.
Yeah. But this, I think, has the worst front to rear balance
Yep.
of all of them. Yeah.
I agree.
Front bottom.
Yep. Bottom in the front, definitely firmness in the rear.
Yeah, a little bit of pitching.
Yeah.
The bottoming G was low, but it definitely bottomed.
Yep.
I think that's our first shock to bottom in the front
Yes.
on that,
Yeah.
but it makes sense. G was low.
That part surprised me. I
Nice
thought it
bit.
was going to have some lateral movement.
Yeah. A little bit of kick. Lots of movement.
Got to work to keep it straight.
Front
Bottoming.
Bottoming, yeah. Front bottomed.
Yeah. A little bit of body shake there too.
Yeah. again, this is the first one we've got front bottoming. Front top.
Yeah. Wasn't harsh though.
No. A little soft.
Yeah.
Some oscillation.
Yep, you could feel a few revolutions once you... Ooh, definite diving.
So really clear, like almost in every situation, the front is undersprung and underdamped.
Yep. It definitely does. You can definitely feel it bottom there.
Yeah, you can feel it bounce off the bound.
Yeah, it's not barely hitting the end of stroke. It's definitely hitting it and
bouncing,
going back up.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we're all wrapped up with our blind shock testing. We tested 4 dampers from 4 different manufacturers. We tested these on a 2020 Toyota Tacoma TRD off-road. We ran it with a 285/70/17 C-load tire. We ran it at the recommended door PSI, which is 30 PSI. We also made sure that in the morning we had a full tank of fuel on the way out to the desert. That was before our off-road testing, and we also refueled right before we did our street testing, just to make sure that the weight was the same across the board and make sure that it was a fair comparison. Keep in mind that these comparisons are for educational purposes and entertainment only. We respect all these manufacturers and we want to provide unbiased information about each damper. These dampers were rated on a 1 to 5 scale, 1 being the lowest score and 5 being the highest score. Mark, you want to give us a little bit of information on how that scale works and how we use it?
You bet. It's been a great week.
It has. It really has been.
We've gotten a lot of information.
Yep.
Yeah. So 1 to 5 scale, as mentioned, 1 is worst, 5 is best.
Yep.
And kind of the way to think about it, we think about this from the customer's perspective.
Correct.
And so 3 is kind of average customer expectation for a 2.5 shock absorber.
Yep.
Okay.
And would that 3 be how the vehicle rides stock, or would that 3 be what the customer is expecting?
What the customer would expect out of a 2.5.
Okay.
Yep. And then 2 is a little bit below expectation. 1 is well below expectation. 4 is above. 5 is basically best in class.
Okay.
Okay. Before we reveal, I want to touch on one more thing.
Yep.
That's, I think, really important to understand. So part of our process, we spoke a bit about our rating system.
Yes.
And you spoke about the manner in which we set the vehicle up. I'd like to talk about a little bit about the way we set up and execute our driving and our course, right? We have about 5 hours of driving per damper.
Yep.
And we have very standardized courses we use for every evaluation. Everything is done in exactly the same way.
Yep.
And what I mean by exactly the same way is not just the street we're on, not just the speed we're running at, to the mile per hour, right? It's not only just the lane you're in, but where in that lane you are, right?
Yeah.
So we really, really try hard.
Yeah, this is an extremely precise course.
Standardized.
Just to make it clear, we are not out driving around this vehicle randomly for 5 hours and trying to give a comparison. This is about the most precise course that you can have on both the street and the dirt.
Yeah, yeah. We do our best to make this as objective as possible.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
And this is a true blind test. We have not seen any of these dampers on or off the vehicle. We're going strictly by driving feel.
Yep.
These have been rated on both the street and the dirt, using that 1 to 5 scale. Mark, do you want to review the shocks that we did starting off on damper 1? So we'll review damper 1, 2, 3, and then 4, both the off-road and the street scores.
I happen to have the data right here.
All right.
All right, so starting with damper 1. Now please understand, we still don't know what damper 1, 2, 3, or 4 are. They're approximately here, but we do know the results. And so starting with day 1, damper 1, street rating average, the average score of 2.84 and the dirt average score of 2.03 for an overall average of 2.43. So little below our expectations.
Yep.
In the dirt, the pros were a lot of compliance feel, very, very good isolation from the surface. Cons in the dirt, lack of control, and a lot of bottoming and topping.
Yeah, we did get a lot of topping on that particular shock. On both the high speed and the low speed section of the course. And on a shock like this, it really shows you how you can pick up on street comfort, but then you're going to sacrifice it in dirt control and performance. Everything with these shocks is give and take. you have to look at areas that you want to improve and areas that you're willing to sacrifice as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And then for damper 1, the pros on the street were really low G feel, G meaning shock, right? Very round, very low G.
Yep, that's what you're feeling up through the floor, the driver's feeling, the passenger's feeling.
That's right. And but however, one of the concerns we have on the street was a little bit of weak body control.
Yep.
So the body of the vehicle kind of moving a lot, right? Okay. Ready for damper 2?
Let's do it.
All right, damper 2. Average score of 3.45 on the street and 3.58 in the dirt for an overall of 3.51. This was a solid damper.
It was. This is above average, that 3 being what your customer would expect. This on average is a ½ point above that, so it would exceed the customer's expectations.
Yep. In the dirt, mostly good news, really well controlled. Good contact and grip feel. So what we mean by contact is that the dampers are doing a good job of keeping the tires on the surface.
Yep.
I know you're good, but not even you can steer when the tires are in the air.
No, and we kind of experienced that
a little bit of that
a few times this week.
Not with this damper.
No.
Nope. And then some of the downsides was occasionally, so in this particular damper, the rear was just a little bit weak vertically.
Yep.
And so sometimes we had a little bit of pitching coming out of the back of the vehicle. Overall, quite good in the dirt. On the street, pros were really balanced ride quality. So this means that it did really well in just about every environment.
It did.
Right? Some of the cons we had on the street were some weak rear rolls. So the same thing that we noticed in the dirt, right, which is that kind of weakness in the back, that manifested itself on the street as a little bit of lack of control from a roll perspective.
Yeah, mostly from the rear. High-speed cornering, you could feel the rear kind of dipping a little bit.
Sit down a little.
Yep.
Damper number 3, average score on the street of 3.44, average score in the dirt of 2.86 for an overall of 3.15. Good overall performance.
That is, especially that street score is very good.
Yeah.
This damper as well would be higher than the customer's expectations at 3.0. This is just slightly above that.
This was a very interesting damper because it had kind of really disparate performance in certain areas. It was really strong in certain areas.
It was.
And then less strong in other areas.
Yeah, the areas that it was good, it was really good.
Really good.
And the areas where it could use some work, you could definitely tell.
Absolutely. So some of the pros in the dirt, so really good contact feel. You felt like you were just being Velcroed to the ground, right? So you could steer, you could stop, you could accelerate.
The steering control was very, very good.
Yep. Some of the cons in the dirt, hard, and sharp feeling, right? And we felt like the compliance was lacking, right? Yeah. And then on the street, what we're going to call best in test stability and steering
I feel like
confidence.
this is where this damper really did well. You could tell that the manufacturer put a lot of emphasis on street control, handling, and performance.
Super stable.
Extremely.
Some of the best performance we've seen. And from a cons perspective on the street, it was busy, right? So all that control creates sometimes a tied down feel.
That's what we were talking about earlier. The more control that you're going to want, you will sacrifice slightly in that ride quality, which is okay in certain instances. You know, there are customers that prefer that type of ride. There's kind of a flavor for everybody, and luckily across this board here, you have a little something for everybody.
Holy smokes, don't we? Okay, last damper, damper number 4. On the street, average of 2.57, and in the dirt, 2.65, for an average of 2.61 overall. So again, a little bit below our expectations, what we feel the customer is looking for. Pros in the dirt, really good compliance, especially at low speed. So if the goal is to drive down, bumpy dirt roads at relatively low speeds, this is going to create a lot of isolation. Right? Some of the concerns we had, the cons off-road is this damper, maybe more so than the other 3, had kind of an unbalanced feel front to rear.
It did.
The front was really compliant. The rear was a little bit firm, so that created some kind of pitching.
Definitely an imbalance going on.
Some unsettled feel. Right? A little bit of lack of rear grip. On the street, it did really well for low G, like the feeling of general isolation and compliance was generally good. In the dirt, we felt like we had a lack of confidence with it. Right? And
a lot of movement in this one. The steering definitely felt a little softer. Not as accurate as some of the other dampers.
And one of the things that really came through with this damper was some of the higher speed confidence. It was just a little bit weak feeling for confidence at high speed on the street.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could feel that in the steering. The steering was less rigid.
Yep.
The roll was very open. It wasn't as quick to change direction, respond to the steering. So that was kind of the primary weakness on the street.
Yep.
Yep. So what do you think? So we got 4 dampers. We got 4 reviews. What's your guess? Go ahead, call it.
Keep in mind that all these dampers were tested directly as they're delivered from the manufacturer. We didn't make any changes to preload, spring rate. We didn't make any nitrogen level changes. And this was tested on a factory weight Tacoma. So this is the best case scenario for what this manufacturer would have been tuning these shocks with.
Yep.
My guess...
Okay, here we go.
Okay, so my guess is gonna be the first damper was Fox.
Fox.
Second damper, Dirt King.
Swinging for the fences.
I'm on the fence on 3 and 4, but I'm gonna go Bilstein and King as number 4.
Okay, so let me get this. Make sure I got this. So day 1, Fox.
Yep.
Day 2, Dirt King.
Yep.
Day 3, Bilstein.
Yep.
Day 4, Kings.
Correct.
Okay.
All right, you ready to pull the sheet off?
Yeah, let's pull the sheet.
So this will be day 1 over here. This will be day 4 over here.
I'm a little scared.
Ah, I was backwards.
You got them wrong, man.
Man, I was backwards on 2 and 3.
Okay, so let's review here. Okay, so day 1, Fox, you got that?
Yep.
All right. Day 2, you called it Dirt King, but it was the Bilsteins.
Bilsteins, yep.
Day 3, Dirt Kings.
Yep.
And then day 4, Kings.
Yep. So I got 1 and 4 correct. I got 2 and 3 mixed up.
Overall ratings, 2.43, 3.51, 3.15, 2.61.
Yep.
Yep. You surprised?
I actually am.
I am too.
I have a lot of time on evaluating the Dirt King shocks.
Yep.
And I could have, like I said earlier, I would have put a burrito on that these were Dirt King shocks.
You owe me a burrito.
Anytime.
Yeah, so excellent information.
Yep.
And I think, for me personally, especially now understanding the order and kind of where we as a company, Dirt King, are sitting amongst our competitors. And these are fantastic companies.
They are.
Right? We are proud to be simply on the table with
Absolutely.
them.
Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely the industry best on this table,
Absolutely.
and to be comparing our shocks with them and be in the running, it really says a lot.
So one of the reasons we did this was not only to understand where we are amongst our competitors and share that with folks on the internet, but also so we could learn.
Yeah.
Right? So that we could understand where are we really stacking up and where are our opportunities.
Yep, against the best.
We know now.
Yep.
So it's time to go back to work.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're not afraid to make it known that we are constantly working on these products. We're not a company that puts out one product and leaves it as is. We're constantly working on R&D and development on both our suspension components and our shocks to give our customers the best product that we can.
Absolutely.
We really take a lot of pride in our work, and we want to make sure that we're putting out the best that you can buy.
Absolutely. This is an excellent week.
I think so too.
Yeah.
We got a lot of information. We got a lot of testing done, and I'm really happy to see and know, truthfully, where we stand against the competition.
And we didn't crash.
No, it's a beautiful thing. We really want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure you let us know what you guys think about each one of these shocks and your personal experience in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and check out dirtking.com. Thanks again, guys.
Absolutely.
All right, Mark, now that we're done, how's it feel to be the first loser?
I'm not used to being the first loser.
Yeah, me neither. I don't like it.
We did well.
Yep.
We did well.
We did very good, but I think we're up for the challenge to do a retune and come back with a second video for some redemption.
I think we need to go straight after Bilstein.
Yep, let's get back to San Diego and do it.
Let's do it.